now. I raised it in the ANC. In the conference where I was re-elected president of the Youth League 2011, all these issues I'm raising are official resolutions of the ANC Youth League.
That's why, according to me, I believe that we need to have leaders who can be able to deal with challenges of that generation at that time.
Thank you very much. The ANC got it wrong when it stopped industrializing. Remember the Bantustans, typical Bantustans who had no idea what was happening in the world. But every big township of the Bantustans had factories. They were producing things for themselves. I come from Sishiu. When we were growing up, we used to see people coming back from work, buy food. Because in the morning we won't see them, we were still sleeping. But in the afternoon, then it later made sense. They are working in the factories. They are producing clothes locally. Today, we don't produce anything. We don't produce toothpick. We don't produce the sticks of matches. And we expect to grow our economy. We have to, the ANC should have, from 1994, turned around the education. Not RDPs. We should have made education free of charge, because the situation we find ourselves in now was deliberately created through education. For women, they were told you can't get educated because if you go to school, you won't get married. And then for men who had the opportunity to go to school, Verwoerd said, what is an African child going to do with mathematics? He was saying, mathematics is for higher jobs, and the higher jobs are reserved. Therefore, even if you have mathematics, you won't make it. So we should have given people free and compulsory education, that every child must go to school, and if that child is still very young, the parents must take the responsibility to make sure these children go to school, skill them, then from there industrialize and beneficiate. When you take raw chrome out of South Africa, I can guarantee you now, you are creating jobs where it is going to be processed, because it must be converted into steel, and that process, it's labor intensive. And that's why the Chinese take our chrome as is. So we take our raw material. If you take out a diamond, it has to be polished, it has to be cut, and it has to be processed into a finished goods, which we can do ourselves if we own our own minerals.
You're proposing 50% of the minerals to be beneficiated here in the country.
Absolutely.
By when? How soon do you think?
Well, in less than 5 years. In Niger, they just made a decision. France, you are going to buy our product with a market price. It's no longer going to be discounted, and it's going to happen now. So you don't need anything. You need a political will, a determination. But the problem is that you've got a group of old men and women who are compromised from CODESA. We don't know what the Oppenheimer family discussed with them when they went into exile. They said to them, we're going to end apartheid. You're going to come back and rule South Africa, and it is going to be business as usual. Meaning you don't tamper with business. You can do those things of yours of politics. Where we are working, you won't do that. They agreed to it. We just know the issues that are above. We don't have the minute detail of what really transpired, because why would a person be scared to remove a statue of Kruger?
You really don't know? You were in the ANC, you really don't?
We raised it there. You see, the good thing with me is that you can never put it to me that you're saying it now. You can go back to my videos, and I like these social media guys. They go and
bring back the archives.
Old videos. I raised everything I'm talking about now. I raised it in the ANC. In the conference where I was re-elected president of the Youth League 2011, all these issues I'm raising are official resolutions of the ANC Youth League. Nationalization of the Reserve Bank, nationalization of mines, establishment of state bank, free quality, decolonized education, all of that. I raised it in the ANC. You go to FNB and listen to me speaking, Zuma sitting at the back and everybody else at Johannesburg Stadium with President Mandela being there, me speaking. I raised all of these issues. I was not leading a political party. I was not asking for votes. I was just raising these matters as matters of principle. So the point I'm making is, if you have not been compromised, why would you be scared? Leave the economy and everything. A statue of a murderer. Every town in the whole of South Africa, small or big, has got a statue honoring apartheid generals. And Mugabe said, you can't tell me about South Africans are even scared to hit a statue of a white person. That's how much we are so compromised. So we need a new generation, which is not part of those commitments. We don't owe Kodesa anything. We don't know what these guys discussed. They've had their 30 years to deliver on the product. We're a new generation with new challenges. And we can't...
I love that. New generation with new challenges. Okay? I said to you guys in some of my videos, I did mention this thing. And I will tell you guys, and please listen to me very careful. You know, if you are a generation that doesn't deal, first of all, with your challenges, if you don't deal with your challenges decisively, thoroughly, uproot them from the roots, and you deal with them, what is going to happen in that generation is that you are going to have your own challenges of that generation, new challenges of that generation, and then you're going to have another challenges, the old challenges that were not dealt with in the past generation. What is going to happen also is that you are going to have those two challenges, and you're going to have to deal with the old ones and deal with the new ones. How are you going to do that? That's why, according to me, I believe that we need to have leaders who can be able to deal with challenges of that generation at that time. If they don't deal with maybe 70% of the challenges, I can even take it to as 80% of challenges. Just deal with those challenges. Make sure that when the new generation comes in, they come in maybe with some 70, 80% of the challenges being dealt with. When they come in, they know that they can only deal with 20 to 30% of the challenges that are old. They just do them quickly and then they focus on their challenges. The problem is we have our old generation challenges. We have our own challenges. Okay? And then the problem is we end up not being able to deal with our own challenges, our new challenges. And we end up dealing with the old challenges. And again, what is going to happen is that generation that follows is going to take their own challenges and the old challenges, package them, get into and bring them into the new generation. How are you going to overcome? How are you going to overcome, ladies and gentlemen? Mr. Malema says we are a new generation with new challenges, but unfortunately, we're still dealing with challenges that were supposed to be dealt with long time ago. It's AI, it's in. They are telling people to say, go and do AI, go and learn about AI, go and do whatever. But we are still dealing with challenges of the old guys. Not even the past generation, the other generation. How are we going to deal with these challenges? I believe generations need to be so focused to such an extent that you make sure that you deal with your own challenges at that time, so that the coming generation, they come in and they face their own challenges, and then they face them, they overcome them. If they inherit any challenges that are from the past, let them not be 100% challenges, let them not be 70%. You are dealing with 70%, you've got your own 100% of your challenges. How are you going to deal with them? How are you going to deal with them? You get worst part of it, you get leaders who don't want to move into positions. They are old generation. They can't deal with their own challenges. Instead of them allowing the new generation to come in and try to solve the problems, no, they are sitting there, blocking them, and then they leave those challenges. And then when the new generation comes in, it's time. Now you've got 3 challenges. I don't know how many 100 or 300% of challenges. You deal with your old challenges. The other generation, you are dealing with the challenges of the past generation. Now you are dealing with your own challenges. Those guys in the coming generation, they will be dealing with the whole 4 generation challenges with their own new. That will be 5 challenges. Maybe the other generation, they left maybe 60%. The other one, they left maybe 50. The other one, maybe they were worse. They left 70. The other one, maybe they left, maybe they were clever nyana. Maybe they left nyana 30%, not 30 even, 60 nyana. And then now you can imagine how I don't know how to, guys, in this life, there are generations. A generation comes in, another generation comes in, the other one goes out. I'm expecting in every organization, that's how it should be. Generation comes in, they deal with whatever that they deal with, preparing the generation that is going to come. When the new generation comes in, all right, they come in, and they deal with their own challenges, right? And those old generations, they don't stick into positions, into chairs, holding them. Yeah, we are holding until maybe we are pushed out. No. Supposed to know as a leader, as a person, as a leader, you should know when to leave, when to quit. You should know when is your time over. It's not like you will be gone. Obviously, people, they will want your experience. Right? They will want your experience. They will keep you somewhere. But anyway, I love what Malema, new generation, new challenges. But unfortunately, in South Africa, we are... one thing about the June 16 guys, one thing about them, okay? They said to themselves, there is no way we can leave this challenge of education to leave it like this. Because if we leave it like this, the problem is the coming generation, they will be dealing with the same problem. Let's deal with this problem. If there are people who needs to be, because obviously when you are trying to solve a challenge that is actually attached to the government or attached to whatever that you are fighting for, in some cases there will be casualties. It doesn't matter whether we have casualties. They would say, maybe in June 16, whatever. It doesn't matter, but we want to do what we have to do so that we deal with this challenge. And they dealt with it. Have you found it now? No. People, they can go to school now. Even though it's not free, but they can go to school in any university they want. They can go to school in any college, whatever it is. They can study whatever they want to study. Right? That's what they did. Question is, the following generation, what did they deal with? What did they deal with so that the coming generation doesn't deal with that challenge? The problem is, we're not dealing with challenges. We leave challenges. It's all about us, self. Self, me. Thinking about now. Me. You forget about the future. I said about this thing of illegal immigrants. It's about the future. Let me say it again. It's about the future. You don't want people to face the challenge that we are facing today in the future. Let's deal with it now. Let it be fixed now. I'm happy that in Parliament they were arguing, they were debating that thing. There's going to be a bill. I don't know if the bill is actually... I have to go and read it and just find out on what exactly it's all about. You know? Now, guys, whether you like it or not, I can tell you, we will have a generation. We cannot have, for example, we've got rotten, okay, not rotten, but we've got bad cities now in South Africa. There's no way that we must, the government, if they are thinking they should be thinking that there is no way that we can go to the next generation with these cities that we have. We need to do something. We need to change them. Bring them back to where they were. Okay? So that they don't deal with them the coming generation. I
dare to Codesa minutes which we don't have.
Your point is exactly that you've been raising these things for over some time.
Yeah.
You're not the only person. Many people have been asking these questions. Yeah. We know that the private sector sits with billions that they don't want to
Absolutely.
spend. We know that this economy sits with only one kind of a people in this country, the minority, the white people, and that's not transforming. What are you going to do to get that to change?
Let's get our own capital. Let's generate our own capital. The white capital has kept liquid cash in the banks and is refusing to invest it back into our economy because of pure racist reason, that they do not trust black men and that they can't put their money in a country where they've got no guarantee. So rather liquid cash, because if anything happens you just press transfer, but you can't transfer a building. You can't transfer an infrastructural development. So the rest will rather not entertain. I'm still to see very few white guys, maybe Carl Niels is one of them, who have no dual citizenship. Every white person that you know who's at that level, they've got South African passport and they've got a British passport or a German passport. Because they don't want. They are not here. They are here physically because they are milking us, but they are somewhere else. So we need to create our own money. That's why we must own the state bank. You know, civil servants, this bank must give them bonds. They don't qualify, many of them, to get bonds. A teacher who taught me geography 15 years ago bought a Corolla. It was so beautiful and new, and Toyota Corolla was so excited. Met him this year, still driving the same car because he cannot afford to get a car, despite the fact that he's a teacher. We grew up teachers being the most respected people. The bank is refusing to give him, with all the years in teaching as a civil servant and all of that, he doesn't qualify for a new latest version of Corolla. This state bank must come in. They say, where are you going to get the money because you need 250 million as a guarantee? Then I said to them, no, Reserve Bank owns shares in African Bank. Why does the regulator get involved in the banks? The Reserve Bank must pull out. We take that money, that is our share, and then we build our own state-owned bank, or we put more money and buy everybody out, and we buy Nedbank and convert it into a state bank.
Okay, now this thing, guys, of economy, right? Let me tell you something, guys. And if you're a person who thinks like I think you will agree, okay? You see, you can say to people that you've got freedom, right? Which, according to what I'm saying, or according to what the freedom after 1994 was, well, we can say to such an extent maybe we've got freedom because, as Mr. Malema said, that actually you can just take your political freedom, it's fine, okay? Because political freedom will mean that you just get to vote, you know, since we were not allowed to vote, you can vote. And then you can go to malls that you want to go to. If you want to go to a mall, you can go. If you want to go to the toilet now, you can use the same toilet with the other guys. And you can just, you know, whatever, go to any university you want to go, blah, blah, blah. Politically, you can just be a president. It can be black, can be whatever, and everything. You can have a majority. It's fine. But don't touch this thing of economy. Okay? You can have all the freedom you can have in this world. But if you don't have the freedom in economy, you are not free. You are as free as to this point. To this point. Above this point, you are not free. You are not free. Because the only way you can say you are totally free, it is if you've got economic freedom. That's why even today we still have this slogan. That's why, guys, when it comes to slogans and whatever they call it, you know, my economy in my lifetime, freedom in economic freedom in my lifetime, or whatever that it is that they actually use. For me, guys, if it's not practical, you can say it as many times as you want. It can sound as good as when they say it, but if it is not practical for me, I'm very sorry. It's just a waste of time. Okay, you can just say it, but it doesn't help. If we are not free economically, ladies and gentlemen, it is just like, you know, you've got freedom of moving around, doing whatever, but when it comes to the economy, you don't. You know, unfortunately, I did say in the past that if after 1994, a lot of people like it was, and guys, what you need to understand is that after 1994, okay, when 1994 hits, Mandela is out and everybody was excited. We were all excited. We loved the ANC, we loved Mandela, we loved both Steve Biko and everyone else, and we were excited. And excitement because of we were free, according to what at that time, okay, which was good because we were free. Mandela is out and everybody and everything, and all now we can walk around, you can do whatever and have our own whatever, right? That was good, that was awesome. But one thing that we also need to remember is that it's like some people, when 1994 hits, a lot of people saw an opportunity for them to, you know, to take advantage of that opportunity, you know, and all of that. And unfortunately, when people think about me, you know, I want to enrich myself, I want to see myself driving this, I want to see myself, you know, blah 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 blah. In most cases, you lose the focus. You lose the focus of exactly what you need to do as the freedom that you get. And unfortunately, as Mr. Malema says, that actually after 1994, when they were negotiating, in fact, before the 1994 the negotiations, CODESA, whatever, well, he says that, well, we don't know what they were discussing, but it is clear now that actually when it comes to the economy, it's like we can't touch it in a way, you know. And unfortunately, like I said, you can tell me about any freedom you can tell me about, but if it's not economic, guys, I'm very sorry. It's just shy, you know. It's just shy. There is this thing that is always happening, or that is always said in South Africa about a family, you know, controlling everything, blah 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 blah, and all of that. So you see, for example, guys, and I will give you a practical example. You know, it's not the freedom if when black parties they want to come together. When black parties they want to come together, maybe create a government, okay? And then you have someone who will come and say, if the black parties come together, the economy will collapse. Those people who speak like that, they don't speak like that because it's just a nice word. Yeah, it will collapse. No, they know what will happen. They know what strings they can pull to some people to make that happen. I'm just saying, to say, guys, a person who threatens the whole country to say if black parties come together, the economy is going to collapse. And you must not take light that a person says that and you say, he's just saying, he's just making things. They mean it. They mean it. It can. Trust me. And you won't know even what to do. Because you don't know when a person speaks like that, what do they mean actually. Could be a practical thing that is talking about. Maybe they can pull some strings there. The next thing, boom. All right, I just like this because I was watching. It was an old video. I think it was from last year, which was very awesome. Actually, when I listened to it, I was like, Mr. Malema, man, I can tell you, he's very. I just hope that, you know, I don't know what to say, but I just hope. I don't know, man, how we can control Malema to be. I don't know, because we can't control him, but he's very smart. And I think his ideas, every time he puts an idea and backs it up with some things that I can say some facts, you know, to say, if we do this, and, you know, you can tell that it makes sense. It makes sense economically, you know, as also they are economic freedom fighters. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel. Put it in the comments and tell me what do you think about this speech. It's a speech, it's not a speech. This talk here with me, Mr. Malema. and then you can put it in the comments, okay? And please guys, when you comment on such things, guys, it's about learning. It's about, if you see sense in what he says, it's not about insulting, Malema, hey, what, and then you start talking. No, it's about talking, debating, and engaging on this type of things, okay? I hope you all you enjoyed the video, guys.